Okay, so we are here playing Moving Out, which is a packing and moving simulator. And since people seem to like cluster truck while I answer personal questions about myself, since I recently turned 30, I am going to be reading and reacting to an article which was things I learned at 30 that I wish I knew before. So I'm going to tell you guys how accurate I think this is from the perspective of a new 30-year-old. I'm going to get into this first level real quick. Basically, you're just packing the truck as quickly as possible. And I'm this fresh-looking lizard down at the bottom. So this is everything that I have to move, and I have to just put it in this truck. Your mark, get set, go! Okay, so the first part of the article is number one, your time here is limited. I could not disagree with this one more. Life is super long. Longer than I want it to be, I think. So I'm partially kidding. But yeah, I think people act like life is short. And I mean it is in a way, but at the same time it's long enough that you have time to reinvent yourself and fix your situation and, you know, correct things that you need to correct over and over again. So you can start your life over at 30, you can start your life over at 25, you can start your life over at 40. It's long enough that you have time to fix things. So I don't know if I agree with your time is limited. I'm stuck. I've packed myself into a corner. Okay. And I dropped this. No, this. I threw it back into the house. Alright, so that's number one. Number two. Your body is changing faster than you realize. Yeah, I can agree with that one. Stuff starts to take a toll. Things you do. Diet slips and stuff like that. But like I said, you have time, you can correct all that kind of stuff. It's not a huge deal. I have to move an entire bed still. And it's stuck in the door. But yeah, me and all my friends got fat, pretty much. I mean, not fat, but you're different when you're a teenager. You're not a jar of Nutella is number 3. I'm going to read into this one a little to see what she's talking about. You can't make everyone happy. Okay, so Nutella makes everyone happy, but you can't. Always be someone who disapproves of the way you dress, talk, act, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, alright, this one's easy to get on board with. You can't please everyone. I knew that before I was 30, though. Ultimately, so an example that I'll use is, I was working on a multi-million-dollar house with my grandfather, who's a carpenter, a general contractor, and we went and got lunch. I don't know why I mentioned the first part, I just thought it was interesting, but we went and got lunch, and I got a sandwich, and I didn't want anything on it, really. I didn't get mustard or mayonnaise or anything like that, and oh wait, I've fallen for this trap. It has to go through the back door. So, anyway, I got a sandwich, and the lady was like, "Are you sure you don't want mustard? Are you sure you don't want mayonnaise?" And finally, my grandfather looked at me, and he's like, "I don't think this guy wants to eat your sandwich." So that's my funny little way of remembering that, and what I tell people is, it is your sandwich. You're the one that has to eat it. So, ultimately, someone can have their opinions about the way that you live, or your what you're doing for a job or whatever, but you're the one who's got to work it. You're the one who's got to live. You're the one who's got to dress. So ultimately, you're the one who has to decide. So you can take people's advice, but I think a lot of times people don't just take advice. They try to. Why is this stuff not turning colors? Do I not have to move these things? That doesn't count. Oh no. This is a lot more stressful than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, you can't please everyone. Totally true. I agree. I don't think that one's some super secret 30-year-old knowledge or anything. But remember, it's your sandwich. You gotta eat it. I actually, and I said this on the last stream, but I work at Starbucks right now, and somebody will sometimes super not, but sometimes they'll like apologize for returning their coffee, and they'll be like, it was supposed to have light ice or something like that, and they're like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, hey, it's your $5 cup of coffee, not mine. You're the one that's gonna drink it. Might as well be right. All right, so number 4 is you need to stop trying so hard. Let me try to think back. I was definitely a tryhard when I was in my 20s. I guess in some ways I didn't try hard enough. Like I didn't hold myself as accountable as I should. But in other ways, I acted like I had to get it right immediately. I had to do it right then. I had to be independent before I was ready to be. I had to move out before I was ready to, things like that. And I think I definitely had a propensity to overwork. There's probably something on this list later about this, but for me, in my 30s, which I've only been in for a little while, but... Ooh, that was the last bit. Okay. So for me, learning to pace yourself and do a realistic amount is the biggest thing. Because I definitely didn't... Oh, I got silver this time. Very nice. I definitely was not realistic about like the amount of time things would take me or the amount of energy things would take me and that kind of thing. So that's something that I've learned pretty recently, and I'm still working on, if I'm being honest. So yeah, you do need to stop trying so hard. Let's try back over here, and I'm drinking the weirdest drink, and I'll tell you what it is in a few minutes. But I want to get started. Ready? Move out. Go, lizard. Alright, so number 5 is your old friendships will evolve. I think for me, most of my old friendships just kind of died. You get older and people take different paths in life, and you don't have things in common like you used to. And, like, I have a friend that I've known like almost 20 years, and like we're still friends. We'll always like be friends, like, we'll hit each other up, but very rarely happens anymore. Like we don't check in on each other like we used to, just because we both have families, we both have stuff going on, and life just kind of gets in the way. So I think that happens a lot as you get older, especially since some people don't have families. So you're at a completely different like stage in life of different things are important to you. Look at this square peg and round hole going on right now. This table's in the way. So yeah, let's see what she says. Yeah, priorities and tastes, hopes and plans change. Yeah, I'm with that. Throw this chicken in there. So yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. Definitely understand that your relationships, even though the person might be just as important to you, they might just not fit into your life like they used to. I would absolutely love it if I hired a moving company and a large lizard came and just ruined my whole house. It's a giant lizard with a top hat on. The next one is, ladies, you're going to turn into your mother. I was raised primarily by my mother, and I've been told I'm turning into her. So maybe that's true. Maybe it's just true across the board. I'll use this as a jumping off point to talk about something. Something that happened to me I keep saying in my 30s like I've been in my 30s for a long time or something. But something that I've definitely learned getting older is that you are not responsible for a humongous amount of what you do every day. It's just conditioned into you. Another silver. I think I'm killing it at this game. So like, I at least underestimated the amount of influence that like my parents had on, you know, the way I act. And, you know, I felt like I was walking around making all my own decisions, and a lot of times it was just unconscious reactions to the way I was raised and the stuff I saw. Like for me, I guess I didn't even mean to start talking about this, but I turned into my stepdad. You know, I had some issues where, you know, I was being kind of bitter, kind of withdrawn, and, you know, I had to learn to stop it, because that was just what I had seen growing up. So I think I definitely underestimated the influence that my parents had on me. What is this? Water damage. Okay, so I gotta throw the suitcases across the water. So number 7 is you could have been, or not you could have been, you could be nicer to your parents. So I don't talk to my stepdad at all. Well, he's my dad, I guess. He adopted me. But I used to judge him pretty harshly. But now, being older and, you know, knowing the things I know now, I don't judge him necessarily for the way that he was, because I understand it a good bit more. So I don't judge him anymore, but I still don't talk to him. I haven't talked to him in like 6 years or something like that. Maybe a little longer. But I still talk to my mom a lot. We butt heads a lot because we're so similar. We're both so headstrong. But I definitely think that as you get older and your parents get older, my mom is still pretty young, so I don't think about it as much. Things are definitely, little fights and things like that are definitely less important. Cooking, number 8 is cooking is an invaluable life skill. I'm not a great cook. I can cook things, but usually I just don't. I definitely can't cook like a real meal. I can just make stuff to eat, like bachelor chow, and I can heat up chicken nuggets for the kids and stuff like that. But like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I guess I'll have chicken piccata tonight. Like, that's not the kind of thing I do. Oh, it hurts me I didn't get silver. We'll definitely get bronze, right? There's only a couple more things. Yeah, I think the biggest thing with cooking is definitely if you have a family, you're definitely going to pay more money if you don't know how to cook efficiently. So I agree with number 8. Cooking is an invaluable life skill, and it's not really one that I've picked up yet. Oh, so my drink. So I went to Starbucks earlier because I work there, so I drink there a lot too. And let me pause for a second, because the stress of this game is starting to get to me. So I got a green iced tea with no sugar, and I added 3 hot tea bags of mint tea to try to get a little mint out of it. And then I drank about half of it, and then I put in a peach Celsius energy drink. So it is a very interesting mix, but I will drink it again. It's good. Number 9, a little routine is good for you. Like, for me in particular, I have some challenges that make routine more important for me than even for other people. But I have made whole life decisions based around securing more of a routine for myself, because I think it's that important. Being able to get up at the same time every day, or like similar time every day, and going to bed around the same time every day, and, you know, having some kind of reliable routine is super important. And I would say that's definitely not a thing that I was aware of or that I acted on in my 20s. So yes, I agree again. Honestly, this article's pretty on point. I gotta look up the speedrun for this game. If it exists, there's a speedrun of it. That's another one of those numbered internet rules. You know what the one I'm referencing. It's like that one, but different. Alright, so a little routine is good for you. A lot of routine is good for you. You probably need it more than you think you do. Even if you think you thrive with no routine, you're probably wrong, and you probably need some. Alright, we're on number 10. So, I did something in the last video. I said, if you get to a certain part of the video, I got to a certain part of the video and I said, if you're still watching, comment avocado. And I just want to call out, if the same person is watching this video, you're the only one that did, and thank you. And if anybody is still watching this video right now, comment, let's see, just the number 10, because that's where we're at in the list. Just comment the number 10, and I'll know that somebody else watched one of these videos. It's not for the algorithm. I don't care about that, and there aren't enough of you commenting for it to mean anything anyway for the algorithm, but I just think it's cool when people actually watch the video. So number 10 is uncluttering your life is important, which is really funny with this game because of the clutter. My life is currently very cluttered, if I'm being honest. Uncluttering is, yes, very important, and something that I need to do soon. You know, I thought I would just pick one of these, and I didn't read it ahead of time, but I thought I would pick one of these, and then I would like have all these like snarky things to say about it. And this list, again, is pretty accurate, honestly. It's either things that I've recently learned, need to do, or already knew. I just briefly forgot how to pick stuff up. Okay, the next one is easy for me to answer. You don't want to, and probably can't, party as much. So, I was never a partier, ever. I was always really responsible. I worked a lot as a kid. I was busy doing that in school, and I just was never part of the scene. So I was like always the curmudgeon-y one too. Like I wanted to go home and go to bed because I had stuff to do in the morning. I wasn't ever. Now, from an outsider's perspective, this makes sense to me because, you know, you're older. People underestimate what getting older, like, you know, I recover from workouts slower, and, you know, I get tired sooner. Like, all those things are tropes for a reason. They're true. So, I can imagine, well, I guess I should say, I can't imagine trying to go out and party, like, at my age. I say at my age like I'm old, and that makes me feel old. I'm not old. Shut up. You're old. Or you're young and you don't know what you're talking about. Number 12 is saying no gets easier. Did I ever have a hard time saying no? I don't know if I did or not. I think I'm definitely like more apt to say no if it's not something I can take on now. I definitely, now that I think about it, I definitely used to feel bad about saying no. I don't have a lot to say about saying no. Know what you can take on. Don't take on more than you can. Please, 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 if you have any ideas for things that I should react to, read, or talk about, throw it in a comment. And I will probably do it, because you will probably be the only one commenting. Thanks for watching.